Hello, everyone. I'm waiting for everybody's audio to kick in. Make sure everybody is here. They can hear me. Hello, hello, hello. I think we're good. I think everyone's in. Well, not everyone. I'm sure people are still going to be joining us, and I'll continue to add them on. But for the ones that are here, welcome. How are you? I hope everyone is doing good today, doing all right this morning. It's early. This is the first early event we've hosted. But we wanted to get as many professionals that we can to, participate and get access to this information. So welcome to I Belong Here webinar, social media, branding, and marketing. As the founder and president of I Belong Here, our mission, as always, is to empower women and foster community impact, regardless of background or profession. However, today, this isn't a women-only event, okay? So we are happy to welcome you all. Today is about community, okay? So past clients have, let me add another member. Past attendees have made valuable connections, closed deals, formed partnerships, and collaborated on impactful initiatives through our webinars. So let's make sure we take advantage of the opportunity where you're here, you're amongst other licensed, well, I'm going to say licensed, but other professionals, right? Diverse backgrounds. So let's kick off by introducing ourselves in the comments, if you don't mind. Share who you are, where you're from, what you do. You never know, someone here might have a need that you can fulfill. So please, in the chat, say, mention who you are, where you're from, what you do, and let's see if we can make some connections this morning. Now it's time for us to kind of delve into the realms of social media. We want to start this thing off right and on time. I don't see anything in the comments, so no one here wants to do business. No one here is looking for opportunities. Okay, got it, noted. Oh, Madeline Sandoval is a realtor and paralegal. Good morning, good morning. Let's see who else. Anyone else here? My name is Eric with Keller Williams in Kearney, New Jersey. Keller Williams, so Eric Gomez is a realtor. I would assume realtor, broker. Hi everyone, I'm Ariane, a notary and signing agent. I'm in Bogota, New Jersey. Okay, great. Yeah, so right there, that's a connection. Paralegal, realtor, loan signing agent. That's perfect. If there's anyone else, please share where you're from, who you are, what you do, and let's see if we can make some more connections from this session. Now, again, we want to jump into our why we're here for social media branding and marketing. So despite being a webinar, let's aim for a high engagement. So drop your questions in the chat if you have any, and we'll do our best to address them, I guess, after each slide. Andrew will be able to address as many questions as possible. But let's get ready to take notes, keep an open mind, and let's go on this journey together of entrepreneurial growth. So I want to now introduce our guest speaker for today. This master training will be hosted by Andrew Mancherel. He is the CEO of Digital World Connections and a partner of Click Multimedia and Data Analytics, the #1 marketing firm in India with over 6 offices that has helped numerous brands in numerous industries, including real estate, which is why when I met with him in New York, we connected both in New York at the Mixer Curtis hosts every month, and then we met again. I forget an event in December.
It was in Jersey,
but this is what really got my attention, that he, his niche, he pretty much can help us all. So again, industries including real estate, medicine, retail, B2B, and more. With over 50 years of experience as an organization, Andrew has trained over 1,000 business owners in growing their digital presence. So I bring to you the guru, Mr. Andrew. You can take over now.
Well, hi everyone. Good morning. Thanks for having me. So, today we're going to kind of dive into quite a bit of topics. I'll be pretty detailed. There'll be a lot of info covered. Do advise you guys to take some notes here and there, but don't worry, even if you don't take any notes, you will still have, an ebook that I'll send over, as well as the presentation deck. From what you'll see, I'll share my screen pretty soon. And then also you guys, this is recorded, so I'm sure you guys will get a copy of this video as well, so you guys can keep that with you. So I'll just go ahead and share my screen, and then we'll kind of get right into it. And then you guys will, yeah, we'll get all the info you need to get a good understanding of digital marketing, right? So as Queen mentioned, I am the founder of a company called Digital World Connections. I'm a partner of Click. Been in the space for quite a while. Do advocate a lot of things. I'm very heavy on marketing mindset and how your mindset should really be set in an industry where today all industries are just really saturated, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what space you're in, whether you're in real estate or in the law space or even things like medicine, everyone is doing everything, and it's really hard to stand out in today's world, right? So I really talk about marketing mindset and how to actually put yourself in a way that you can stand out differently. So I'll kind of get right into it. I want to set the intention straight and just remind everyone, why do we do this in the first place? It's because we want to make more money. Now, people say branding, consistency, awareness, those are all ways to get there. But at the end of the day, the reason why I would ever do it, or the reason why you guys would ever do it, is because we want more revenue. Now, with that being said, there are a couple of common mindset objections people put on themselves, even after knowing that's the obvious reason why to do marketing. So before I address that, I want to talk about how this whole concept of marketing, whether it's digital or physical or network marketing, whatever the type of marketing it is, I want you guys to know that this is truly the most important thing in the business. Because once for example, do a transaction or you get a customer, right? Where will your leads come from? And it doesn't have to be through social media or through email marketing, but the question is, where will it come from? And the answer is, you'd have to put yourself out there in some way, whether that's a mailer, whether that's networking with people, whether that's actually doing things like Instagram or Facebook, but people will find you through some avenue. And that only happens because you put yourself out there. And that's what we call marketing, right? Now, with that being said, again, that might sound pretty obvious, but people still kind of trip on these 4 points I'm going to talk about, which is number one, investing, the what you should be investing in marketing. Now, the whole answer to this is, there's a couple of factors to look at. Okay. Number one, I almost find that every single industry is just really saturated at this point, right? There's not that many new industries that a lot of people are part of. Of course, there's a couple new ones that happen here and there, but there's a lot of industries where people are very much heavy in the space. And, any lesser marketing you do is just simply a lesser touch point for your consumers. For example, if I was a real estate agent, right? And I saw Agent X on every single marketing channel, every single marketing avenue. He's there everywhere. I could check his website out, but he's also on that bench every time I drive by, right? But then I see Agent Y that's just on Instagram. Who's going to be more top of mind subconsciously? It's going to be Agent X, and that's just a natural thing. So any sort of lesser marketing we do is just a lesser touch point for your audience. At the end of the day, of course, I'm not here to step on any toes, but I want you guys to be aware of that your consumers will remember those that are out there on a daily basis. Number two, not results in 1 month. Now, again, there's two reasons why this happens, and there's two things and two factors that I can never control. Now, of course, strategy is extremely important. Sometimes great strategy results in results before a month, but sometimes great strategy also means results in the coming months. And what I mean by that is, there's two factors to look at. Factor number one, I just talked about, is competition, right? If your consumers have so many different business owners to choose from, right? They offer the same thing, but there's so many different options. That itself is naturally going to take time. Okay, that's one. And then secondly, the fact that the industry you're in. So for example, we'll talk about two different industries here. Let's talk about real estate first. Real estate is not an industry where most people could wake up tomorrow and be like, I want to buy 3 or 4 houses. I want to go pick this realtor and done. It's not really that fast, right? They have so many different agents to choose from. They want to see which agent they connect with, they bond with, they know, like, and trust. And then they want to go ahead and figure out, in terms of like their financials, like, what they could invest to buy a house, right? There's a lot of big processes to real estate itself, simply because it's a big part of someone's life. But at the same time, if I were to go talk about a fashion industry, for example, or talk about, like, maybe someone selling candy or chocolate, for example, right? That type of industry is a lot different, because that's a very easy choice someone could make. I could wake up tomorrow and be like, I want to go buy 5 Snicker bars, and I could just do it, right? I could just go drive down the block and buy it. But the thing with that industry also is competition. There's a lot of competitors out there, right? So who am I going to choose? Well, the product is really important, but also who's out there in front of my face all the time, right? And I really love to use this talk and compare it with the bigger companies out there. Apple, Facebook, Google, these guys are in front of our face all the time. And do we ever complain how they're top of mind to us? No. Whenever we think about technology or phones, they're the only ones that come up, right? So as a tip for you guys, whenever you have a hard time understanding what to do in marketing, just ask yourself, what are the biggest companies doing at the moment right now? Because they are the role models that we should be keeping. Okay. Third point, marketing is everywhere around us. I truly believe that every choice we made is some sort of indirect reasoning because of marketing or branding, whether wearing a particular type of clothing, because that makes you feel a certain way. Why does that make you feel a certain way? Because the way the company branded it to you in the first place. For those of you guys, may or may not who drive supercars or exotic cars, why do you do that? Maybe it's because you know the status that could give you. How do you know that? It's because the company branded it to you that way, right? So I truly believe that every choice we made is some sort of reasoning because of that company's marketing or branding. And then the fourth one, having previous bad experiences. This is something that I completely understand, whether you've done it on your own or you've done it with someone else. The whole idea of bad experiences, I like to talk a little general here because if we step outside of marketing, let's just talk about life as a whole. I'm sure each and every one of us had some sort of bad experience in life that we don't want to go back to. But yet we are here today, April 11th, wanting to learn how we can grow our business further. So if I were to ask you guys, why are you here? You're going to tell me business is important to you. Your life is important to you. So just because you had a bad experience in marketing and marketing is the most important thing in a business, it doesn't mean you should be giving it up entirely. Because I'll tell you another thing, it's 2024. We're almost 6 months into the year. And what is disrupting today's world? It's artificial intelligence. Our last opportunity to disruption was cryptocurrency. A lot of people missed out on that. Okay, no worries. Now we have something even easier that everyone could learn to use and save their time and actually make their marketing even better, and that's AI. So if you decide to give up on marketing today, you're giving up on AI, and now you're leaving hundreds, thousands, and even millions of dollars on the table, and then your competitors are just going to go way up, and they're going to keep that persistent mindset. So having a previous bad experience should not mean anything. It should be a learning point. If you did it with someone else and it didn't work, maybe do some more research, talk to more people, figure out what can work best for you with another company, or just budget more time. A lot of people can do this by themselves, a lot of people, but they're not organized. They're not that, they don't have a proper schedule, and all of that's going to be really important. And also knowing that life is also unpredictable. So doing a lot of batch or bulking content together is what I absolutely recommend. But we'll talk about that as we get further. I want to talk about branding, right? We talk about marketing mindset a little bit, but how do we take that and talk about branding now? Now, there's really only two ways to really build brands. Either we build a business or corporate brand, or you build what you call a personal brand. Now, depending on the industry, there are differences as to which one you can potentially go with. But, I'll talk about real estate first. I talk about that a lot because I know there's a couple of realtors here. Before I get into which brand I advocate for realtors, let's talk about an example of each first. Business brand. If I want to go buy a bottle of wine, okay, what do I care about in my purchase? Well, I don't really care about who made it, right? I don't really care about the company name. I simply care about the quality of that wine and how that bottle of wine compares with other bottles of wine. If I want to go buy or sell a house, though, it's actually the very opposite. I don't really care about the big name brands like Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, Compass. I don't really care about them. I care about the people inside of that, which are, you guys, the agents. So with that being said, since real estate is a very one-to-one interaction, we have to put our focus on building a personal brand for realtors, right? Personal brand consists of many different aspects. I'm going to talk about Zuckerberg and Elon Musk right after this. In a more corporate brand setting, though, we don't really talk more about the people inside the company. We talk about the product itself and how that product has unique features, how that product may serve different uses, how that product may make someone feel a certain way. If you guys look at the account Red Bull, right? Red Bull's Instagram account, you'll probably notice that they're not really talking about their product. They're talking about the feeling behind that product. And I think they sell about 20 million cans a day. Okay, that's pretty crazy, but you can see that's a pretty corporate slash personal branded account, but you can tell that they don't just promote the product only. And that's really much related to the new way of selling, because I believe that the way to sell people today, it's just to show off what you know and have people come to you, because I know what you guys are looking for. You want people to come to you. You don't want to go to people because you've probably been doing that all your life and you're just probably tired of it at this point, which makes sense. Okay. When you have leads come to you, that is a much more better thing in a sales matter, because now you're in control of the whole sales process. You have entitlement over what you want out of the deal ethically. When you go to a lead and when you try to pitch, it's a very salesy approach. If you don't do it the right way, people don't appreciate that anymore. So your new way of selling should just be talking about your knowledge, talking about the value you can offer, and don't ask for anything in return because I guarantee people will come to you and ask for things as well. Now, let's take that concept and let's talk about these two guys here, Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. So, Zuckerberg is the founder of Facebook, Elon Musk, right? SpaceX, Tesla, X now. Now, Zuckerberg released a platform about 10 months ago called Threads. And Threads' goal was to basically take Twitter out of the marketplace, right? Now, was he successful in doing that? The answer is debatable overall, but definitely in the first month, he absolutely killed it. He had more than 100 million people sign up in 5 days. Now let's go back like 7 years. Zuckerberg was sitting in court facing allegations over privacy concerns where he was taking information from Facebook users and just storing it. Many people disliked him after that. Okay. Many people didn't trust him. Many people didn't align with him. But then why, after 7 years, a tenth of a billion people download his new app? It's because people have the fear of missing out. People want to be on the trend. So what I'm telling you guys, especially like people that are in the real estate attorney type of industry, you guys have to market yourself like an influencer. People will come to you if they feel they are missing out on something from you. Okay, so our goal is to really build that strong personal brand on that end. And we don't want to just do it for personal, we can also do it for corporate by talking about the newest trends about your product, for example, or seeing what your competitors are doing, right? Taking those ideas and putting your own spin to it as well and marketing that fast, okay? Another thing you guys also need to know is marketing is entirely about speed. The faster you move, you see a trend, you apply it, the faster likely you're actually going to get a chance of getting a good result out of it. If you see a trend and then sit on it for 7 days and still didn't do anything with it, you're not doing it right. You should get the idea and execute it the same day or the day after without any interruption. Okay, but again, this is an overview on branding. Really powerful. This is one of the primary spinal frameworks of marketing to make sure you have a great campaign and a great journey with doing this. Now, let's go on to posting, right? Content marketing, right? So we have an idea of what marketing mindset looks like. We know how to brand ourselves. Now, what do we post? And this is where I think everyone makes a fault. Understanding what it is that we should post, how often we should post, right? A couple of things there. So let's talk about this term content marketing. Now, content marketing is a process of defining your ideal client. Now, I don't want a lot of people to make the same mistake, which is talking very vaguely, okay? This primarily applies to, again, those realtors and those attorneys talking vaguely. If you're selling something that's product-based and applies to everyone, that's okay. Your audience might be a little bit broad, but I don't want to hear the realtors and attorneys saying that my audience is between 25 and 60, right? And then maybe he or she is a buyer or seller, he or she has X problem, right? Let's go a little bit more specific and figure out what is a preferred age range for you that you want to work with. Maybe you want to work with people that are between 35 and 45. Okay, 10-year gap, no problem. But you want to identify what the client problems are, what their needs are, what are some of the obstacles or fears that they might be having in the industry when it comes to your industry. Once you kind of figure that out, ask yourself these other questions like, okay, what type of people are they? Are they introverted? Are they extroverted? You really want to find out the head to toe of your ideal client. Now, once you figure out the questions of like the problems, the fears, the obstacles, the pain points, you should ask yourself, okay, how do I as an agent, or how do I as an attorney, or how do I as someone in like the legal space, right, or whatnot, come and solve those problems, come and address those problems for them? Because this is what a lot of people don't talk about. They don't talk about how they are problem solvers. Yes, you guys want leads to come to you. Okay, but what is the other thing that everyone wants? They want qualified leads, right? Is what they call it, right? Well, if you want qualified leads, there's two things to think about. Number one, your marketing content, which is what we're talking about here. And then number two, which I'll cover at the end, your sales process. But if you don't have a marketing campaign or account that talks about how you're a problem solver to specific types of people, here's what the average consumer is going to get when you don't talk about that. Okay, you service everyone from everywhere. I'm going to probably have some issues, so I'm going to come to you. And then you're going to have all these leads that don't, have a need in the next 4 or 5 months because your content seemed like you can help everyone. But I know you don't want to help everyone. You don't have to help everyone. You have a specific group. So I think a lot of us have to focus on talking about how we are specific problem solvers for just specific types of people. You might lose followers in this journey. You might lose certain people's attention, but that's fine because it's all a process of filtering. It's all a process of finding people that are actually interested in your content because that's the community you want to grow. You don't just want to grow a bunch of 18-year-olds on the page and like they don't do anything. It's just pointless, right? So, we're trying to step into a route of qualified views first, not even qualified leads. We want good views on our account first. Okay. From like a more of a broader standpoint, like product-based businesses, right? You guys might say that you can, maybe your candy bar is for everyone. Okay, no problem. But what are some of the things that they're looking for when it comes to that? And you can use artificial intelligence to help you generate some of these ideas. Maybe what are some common problems of that industry, right? Because there's a lot of different candies out there. There's a lot of different types of chocolate bars out there, right? So how would you stand out specifically? What do you solve? How can you make someone feel a certain way after having this, right? What are some of the feelings that they could relate to after having this? Are some of the things you should look at. Now, I put a question down there, which is what separates you from another competitor? So that question is basically someone asking what makes you different. Okay. I will personally leave my own opinion on the table right now about this question because I personally find that this question is not necessarily valuable at this point. I think people ask it in a wrong intention because people think that one thing that makes a company different is the selling point, which it might not be anyways. Because I'll tell you one thing about our company, we're making ebooks for people. And if someone approached me to do all their marketing and I tell them, oh, how are we different? Oh, we make ebooks, it won't help them anyways, right? It's not going to solve that. That question is not the reason why necessarily they would do business with me, right? They want to know exactly what my process looks like on helping them with marketing. So instead of talking about things like we are different because we know the market the best, or we are 24/7 with our client, or we're hardworking, guess what? Everyone is, right? I would rather talk about three pillars. If you can say you excel in these three pillars, I think that's much better. Pillar number one is your network, right? So people say who you know is important, but I think the opposite is more important. Who knows you and who knows what you do? That's one. Number two is simply your experience. Are you good at what you do? Do you guys have a good portfolio to showcase to clients, or do you have a great sales transaction record? And number three is your personality, right? And this primarily applies to the company or the person itself behind the brand. If you go to a potential client and you're energetic, you're confident, you're vibrant with them, that might just be enough for them to say, oh, you're great. Like, I'd like to work with you. If you can say you excel at those three things, personality experience in your network, I think that's a far better answer than saying I'm the most hardworking person here, or I am the most passionate and I know the market the best, because everyone has to know it anyways. It's not something that's going to make you stand out per se. Okay. Now I put another thing right next to that, focus on your target area. This applies to those realtors and those attorneys, right? Now, a lot of agents and a lot of people do not talk about the community. And I think that's a huge part of content you're missing because you guys want to be seen as community experts. You guys want to be seen as neighborhood experts because after all, you're in real estate, you service areas, you talk about your target locations, then tell me exactly what you know about those locations, right? Talk about the events that are happening there. Talk about the businesses that are there. Perfect place to go ahead and tag other brands because these other brands like restaurants, for example, they might have a couple hundred, a couple of thousand followers. And if they see that you are promoting them consistently, that is opening a door where they might promote you as well. So it's a great place to collaborate with other business owners. But also, if you talk about the community, again, a lot of agents are not doing that. So you can now stand out in a world that's already so hard to stand out. Okay. So to really put that into focus, and I just probably given you guys an infinite content glitch there because there's hundreds of thousands of businesses in the area. You could just do a weekly series and talking about, for example, ready, the top Italian restaurants every single week and the top Indian restaurants every single week. Now, guess what? That's two types of content every single week, not related to real estate, not looking like a salesy person either, because our goal is not to look like that. Okay. So I think a lot of businesses should really focus on just talking about the community. Why are they there? What's the purpose of being here? Why is the community so great? Why should people be coming here? I think a lot of agents are just talking about the 3 steps to buy a house or the tips for pet owners. That's very generic content. And we kind of want to avoid generic content, at all costs, because again, you look like you can help everyone, but I know you guys don't want to. You have a specific type of people you want to help, right? So that's some of the primary pillars of content marketing. And, again, this is what really determines what goes in your post. What are you going to talk about in each of these postings? Okay, so we just talked about marketing mindset. We talked about branding. We talked about content marketing. Now let's take this knowledge and let's put it to social media. Okay. Now there's a lot of different platforms out here. I'm sure by next year there's going to be some other platform which I'll be putting on the slide as well. But these are the most used. There's billions of users every single month on these platforms. And it's very vital that we do not ignore any of these, okay? Because they are all million-dollar opportunities here. Instagram, Facebook. Now, I'll be honest, I'll break the ice. These are two very different platforms. Just because they are connected together, it does not mean they behave the same way. Instagram is what you call an organic tool, while Facebook is what you call an inorganic tool. Now, the question is, what is organic? What is inorganic? This answer is simply differentiated by what we call a guarantee, okay? If I were to take a picture right now and post it on the platform, for example, and not even pay $1 to promote that post, what I am playing is what you call a guess game, because the moment I post it, what am I going to check? I'm going to check how many people I reached. I'm going to check how many likes I got. I just don't know. I just have to keep checking. I don't know, right? So it's a guess game. But if I were to pay the platform $100, for example, and promote that post, Instagram and Facebook will tell me, okay, based on your $100 promotion, we can reach between 7 to 9,000 people. Okay, great. I have some sort of guarantee from the platform there that I'll be able to reach that many people, right? Now we're gonna have to incorporate both organic and inorganic strategies anyways to really break through and talk and reign through the area. But before that, let's be a little technical. I want to talk about hashtags and let you guys know that these are still pretty relevant. And the idea of hashtags is basically telling the algorithm who we want our content to be seen by. Now, the thing with hashtags is there is actually a three-step tier rule that we follow. Now, I'm going to be a little numbery here with my words. So if you have any questions, please interrupt me during this because it's going to be a little confusing for some people. If I speak too fast, I'm going to go really slow now. So on Instagram, we want to focus on using 29 and less over time. Now, I'll explain what that means at the end, but we want to start with about 25 to 29 hashtags and then over time drop to like 5 per post. On Facebook, it's actually 10 and less over time. Okay. So there's already one differentiating factor between both platforms, the number of hashtags we should be using. Now, within that, let's talk about Instagram, the three-tier rule. You want to use around 3 to 8 hashtags that are what we call very generic. So some of these could be like different industries, right? Hashtag medicine, hashtag health, hashtag real estate, hashtag property, hashtag New York, hashtag Jersey, right? Very generic hashtags. Primarily, if you search these hashtags, there should be more than 1 million people that have used it, okay? And you can find that out by just on the search platform within the platform, okay? Now, second tier hashtags are more location oriented, but also related to the industry. So for example, hashtag New Jersey homes, or hashtag Long Island real estate, or hashtag Long Island medicine, or hashtag New York health, right? These are all more location related, and they're primarily used by less than 1 million people and more than 1,000 people. So between 4 to 6 digits is what we're looking for, okay? 3 to 8 of those. The last tier in hashtags is actually something a little bit more hyper personal. And what I mean by hyper personal is really something that nobody else uses. So, for example, if I was an agent, right? And I don't know if I'll be, but if I was ever an agent, okay, I would probably pick something that's very like blends in with my name. I know a lot of agents do a very good job with this. I am personally not that good at creating my own hashtag, but if I were to do one, I would probably do something like hashtag Andrew does real estate. Now, if I search that, there's really nobody using that. Okay, so that could be like what I call my tagline for my brand. That's another way where people can find me. So, for example, if you guys have clients that are, for example, posting on Facebook, just bought my new house, right? Or just bought this new product from X company. You want to ask them, hey, would you mind using the hashtag Andrew does real estate, for example? It's another way people can find you, but it's also a tagline to your own brand, right? So we do that more for a branding purpose, but that's the three-step rule that we want to follow. So generic, more location, industry oriented, and then something hyper personal for all the platforms. Now, what I just said, none of that would matter if you don't do the next thing, which is actually tracking. Marketing is all about data analytics, okay? Analyzing your data and optimizing what you know. Now, every single month, you guys should maintain a Google Sheets or an Excel for this. Log all the postings you do. Make sure you have a professional account. So before I talk about the professional account, here's another question I get asked, right? 1 or 2 accounts. Depends on the industry. For real estate specifically, 1 account only. We're talking about building a personal brand. So you have a life, which is your circle. You're talking about you, and inside your life, you have a business. It's not the opposite. You don't have a business, then you have a life. You have a life, and then you have a business. If you're selling something more product related, and you don't want to be behind the brand because it's something that's tangible, then you could probably have your own personal account, do whatever with that. But then you would need to have a business account specifically just for the business page itself. So then in that case, you would just have 1 account only. Okay. So typically only 1 account is needed no matter what industry you're in. It's just a matter of are you going to be behind it or not? Okay. That's the whole branding part. Now, each of those accounts should be what you call a professional account because you'll get to see important data points, okay? how many accounts did I reach, how many followers did I reach, what were the peak time of my followers, where did they come from. You'll get all these important data points, and when you do your analysis at the end of every single month, you want to see what posts have actually got the highest numbers. Now, based on those highest numbers, look at those hashtags that you used. Take those hashtags, use them for the next month of postings, the new postings, while you continuously come up with newer and newer hashtags. Okay. So as you can see, this is a constant process of filtering. And eventually you'll get to the point where you're like, okay, I've used a couple hundreds or a couple thousand, and now I know that these 50 or these 75 hashtags work the best. I am just sticking with these 75. So that's why what I mean by 29 and less over time. You might start with a lot more, but as you do this for a couple of months and maybe over a year or two, you're going to realize that, okay, these, 30 or 40 work the best only. I'm just sticking with these. I'll use maybe 3, 4, 5 on each post. And now I know that my posts are being optimized even better. So it's a constant process of experimentation. Okay. Any questions with that anyone has? Okay. Perfect. So let's talk about the next concept here, engagements, right? The reason why anyone should do social media is for awareness. Now, depending on if you're a personal brand and you're showcasing you, there's 4 things that I look for. Okay. Number 1, do I get to know who you are in that page? Number 2, do I get to know what you do for a living? Number 3, do I get to see your educational content? And number 4, do I get to see all of that often? Because sometimes people think posting 30 to 40 times a month is too much. And I'll be honest, it's only too much if you're not improving over time. There is no such, and you can mark my word on this, there's no such thing as being too much out there. Because I'm telling you guys, if you guys want to build a brand that people come to you and you want to build a legacy, that doesn't happen posting 10 times a month. It really just doesn't happen because your consumers have so much other things to look at. Nobody's ever following one person on Instagram. Most people are following at least 400. And if I see you just every single day, I will not necessarily get annoyed at you, right? Now, you guys might have those friends or family that tell you we're posting too much business related aspects, right? Here's my answer to them. You can take this answer. They probably don't understand what it is to create a legacy because no one's going to remember you if you're out there so less. But if you're out there every day showing up, putting some sort of value or giving someone some sort of update, you are naturally top of mind. That's just the way psychology works, right? So if you guys are out there thinking you're there too much, I don't want you guys to have that thought. Go ahead and do the posting, but make sure it's important that you analyze your data at the end of every single month to see that if you're improving your exposure, your awareness, your leads every single month as well. Okay. Reels are short form videos, right? Videos that are 15 to 45 seconds long. And, for those of you guys that have kids, this is good news because when Reels first came out, the preferred watch time was actually 13 seconds. Now it's 44. So finally, our attention span is increasing. At this point, finally, everyone was complaining about it. Finally, we have now some hope in our attention span going back up. Now, within these videos, there are options to add trending music or filters, okay? Now, are you obligated to use that? The answer is it depends on who you are as a person. If you're the type of person that's very colorful, humoristic, energetic, and likes to be a little dancey or whatnot, you can use the filters, no problem, because again, you're supporting the algorithm's tools, which means they will support you back and your reach and your efforts. But if you're the type of person like me, for example, very straightforward, right to the point, you're not obligated to using that either. The end of the day, the reason why a video goes viral is not necessarily because you use some sort of trending music clip. It's because of the content behind the video. The way the virality formula works is very, really simple. If I were to do a post right now, Instagram will show it to a percentage of my followers and they will show it to a percentage of my non-followers. Out of that, if I get let's just say it was 50 people, okay? Maybe 30 followers and 20 non-followers. If maybe 35 people decided to have a positive reaction on that post, that doesn't mean a like all the time. That can mean a share, a comment, a like, being on that post for 15 seconds, for example. If majority of them react positively, now the algorithm will show it to maybe 200. If 200, if 170 or 160 react positively, okay, then 1,000, then 10,000, then that's how posts go viral. And if when there's a majority of positive reactions, okay? Not necessarily because you use some sort of trending music clip. Does it help? It could help a little bit, but at the end of the day, it goes back to what was the message behind the video? What did you showcase in that post or that video? Okay. But Yeah, you're not obligated to use it. Really depends on the type of person you are to actually see if that's appropriate for you. Because the last thing you want to do is fake somebody that you're not. Because when these potential leads meet you in person, they already have an idea of what you are, and you don't want to look like someone different when you're in person with them either, right? Because that's a bad impression. Personal aspects, this applies primarily to those agents and the attorneys as well, right? Showcasing, talking about you. The only question you should ask yourself here, what are some of the things in my life that I would love to tell my audience about, not related to my industry? This could be family stuff. This could be going out, networking, side businesses you have. This could be things like entertainment preferences, anything about you not related to business or work. Okay. We analyze a couple of thousand accounts a year and we find the same trend. Whenever you have someone posting a business related post, and then the next day they post them going out, it's Friday night, they're posting that going out post 9 out of 10 times is always going to get more likes, more comments, more shares compared to that post where, for example, you just closed a property. I'll be honest, it might be hard to hear, but I'll say it anyways. Your audience doesn't care about that business post. They really don't care. They care about you, right? But again, why do we do this in the first place? As I mentioned, we do it for more revenue. So we'll still have to showcase both aspects anyways. But if you know that your personal posts are getting more engagement and you need more engagement anyways and reach, we're going to have to incorporate that aspect as well to really build that strong personal brand. Okay. Facebook groups, very underutilized tool, and if it's utilized in the wrong manner. So Facebook groups, I don't know if a lot of you guys like using Facebook. I personally find it being very not user friendly. Okay, whether that's on the phone or on the computer, I don't know. It's just a mean platform. But for business owners, there's a powerful tool within Facebook, and that's groups. Now, there's groups for all industries of all sizes. Okay, real estate, attorneys, medicine, medical, product based, right? And it really depends on the type of thing you're selling, right? But if you guys are in, like, for example, a lot of product-based businesses, you guys might be able to ship out to different places. So where you join doesn't really matter. But there are groups, for example, like realtors that you want to join in your area, like New York or Jersey or, the cities itself. And there's plenty of groups with hundreds and thousands of people in there conversing on a daily basis, talking about random things, right? Maybe the market, maybe the industry. That is your perfect place to go into these groups and simply give a light introduction of yourself. And guess what? Just show off what you know. You don't want to make the mistake of being salesy on there as well. A lot of these groups have rules where you can't over promote yourself. But I see a lot of people making the mistake where they always put the attention on themselves. And you don't want to do that because, again, our goal is to not look salesy. We want to just show what we know and have people come to us. Okay. So, you could talk about some of the content you're posting on other pages. You can do polls on the Facebook groups. You can ask people other questions because guess what? People love to talk about themselves, right? So ask people other questions, engage back with them. And now you're building an online community that you can sell to in the future if you have a product, if you do real estate, for example, if you do anything else, you can sell to them in the future. But you don't want to do that upfront because you don't have any credibility yet. And it's going to take a few months to really build that credibility as you build your platform. Just give me a second. Sorry. I don't know if you can still hear me. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. I had a phone ring. Yeah. So you can really build credibility first and then actually be a little bit more salesy in your approach. Okay. Now, those are some of the primary contents of Facebook groups. You don't want to pick like 12 groups, pick 3 to 6, pick 3 to 5, engage with them consistently because some of these groups, you'll be surprised. I'm telling you, they'll have like 30,000 people in it. You have now 30,000 people you could potentially build a local community with. And you guys should not be ignoring that because that is probably where all of your ideal clients are sitting on right now. Okay. Organic, I already defined, ads and targeting. So this is another very important point here. Facebook ads, Instagram ads, do we consider that? Do we do that? Now, this is extremely important to understand. It really depends on a few factors. Number one, if you're in an industry where it's really a physical product you're selling, something that people can buy right away, you might want to consider running ads while you do this social, okay? Even in the beginning, because you want to build hype around the product, for example. But if you're in an industry like real estate, for example, you want leads, right? You want to run like a lead ad and you want a lead form, you should not consider running that ad until you have a great foundation on your page. And again, what did I say was the foundation? Do I get to know who you are? Do I get to know what you do? Do I get to see that educational and local content? And do I get to see it often? If I don't see that yet, I don't want the realtor especially running ads on leads because I guarantee you someone that likes your ad is going to click on your profile, they're not gonna like what they see because there's nothing to see, right? They might love the ad, but there's nothing to see about you. And guess what? They don't care because they know there's another 100 realtors they can check out right now. But the scariest part is nobody will tell you guys you lost an opportunity like that. Nobody will tell you. I won't even tell you because I won't even know, right? So to avoid chances where that doesn't happen, we want to focus on building a foundation for the agents that want to run that type of ad. But if you're marketing something that's like even things like in the medical space, right? Look, it could be great that you're showcasing some sort of new service, but if you don't have content that backs you up, they will lose interest right away. We are in a very ADD type of environment today. People don't have much attention, and if you don't keep them hooked on with your other content, they'll lose interest, and they don't care if they lose interest. They know there's your competitors out there. Your competitors might be better than you. That's why there are so many parameters to keep an eye on when it comes to marketing. Okay. Now, within ads, what you don't want to do is you don't want to touch age or gender. It's mainly for anti-discrimination reasons, some of their policies. If you do touch that, your ad account will be suspended. And trust me, that is not a problem you don't want to go through because they're such a big company, they'll probably never get back to you for a long time. Okay. But there's a lot of targeting features. You can target people by interest, right? People that are interested in real estate, financing, medicine. It could be anything, right? Like any product based, there's a lot of interest targeting that we could do and we should leverage. Okay. Uh, Now, the whole idea of how frequent you should be running these ads, there's a lot of metrics to look at, right? Like if you're getting a great ROI for your products, you should probably keep running these type of ads, but make sure that you're still doing your social marketing and you're doing consistent posting because again, you'll have a handful of people checking you out on your profile as well. The last 2 points here, competitors and similar pages and engaging with other people. So these are my two favorite because these are the two most missed parts. That quote, never compare yourself to others. Listen, that's a great quote. I have nothing against it, but in marketing, we don't listen to that quote. We have to compare ourselves to other people because that's only what's going to help us grow. Now, if you have competitors, what should you be doing? On Google Sheets, you should have a tab called My Competition. In your sheets, you should have it in that tab, their Instagram accounts, their Facebook accounts, all the links to it. And every single day, check what they're doing. What kind of videos are they posting? What kind of, graphics are they doing? What types of posts are getting great hits? Because listen, if there is something that gets a great hit, steal the idea, market it, and market it faster than they are doing. Your goal, we're in war mode. You guys can see the intention that I have. Our goal is to break our competitor, okay? Break their momentum. And if they are giving us free ideas, take the idea. There's no such thing as copyright like this. Take the idea, steal it, market it faster, and just break some sort of momentum that they're having because then the attention could go right on you. Okay. This also is the other thing. If they're not doing something that you can do, guess what? You are now standing out differently, and now you can promote that faster. Okay. Now, the last point, engaging with other people. Excuse me. I think this is called really the most missed part, which is commenting on other accounts. People think social media is just posting analytics, data, but they're forgetting a very important thing, which is engaging back with your people, commenting. The question is, who do you comment on? The answer is a few types of groups. Okay, really depends on the industry, but I'll talk a couple of types of groups. Number one, you want to probably comment on people in your area. So for example, hashtag Long Island, right, where I'm based in. There's hundreds of thousands of posts here. And if I was a realtor, I want to comment on random posts that are in Long Island because again, I want to be seen as a local expert. I want people to be, visiting my profile through my Long Island comments. The second type of group you should be commenting on are people that are directly connected to your network. For example, if you guys, for those of you guys that are maybe in the tax industry, right? Who do you want to comment on? Well, you probably want to comment on people that are in real estate, loans, other people closely related to business. Why? Because they might refer you to other people that might create an opportunity. It doesn't happen usually with one comment, and it could, but if you can keep a sheet with who you comment on and consistently stay on their postings and start commenting, you never know if someone might notice you after a certain time. The third type of group to comment on, it's kind of funny, but it's actually competitors, right? If you have some sort of product-based business and you have a competitor, start commenting on their posts, right? It could just be simple things like great posts, right? I don't really want it to be like a big essay. I like volume in this case, but guess what? They are nurturing their own audience. So if you want more clients or more exposure, what is the one thing you should absolutely do? Take attention away from them. And one of the ways we can do that ethically, of course, is by commenting on their page, right? Because if one of their followers checks you out, guess what? They might like what they see if you do it right, and they might give you a follow, or they might send you a message. Very missed part in marketing. I think a lot of people forget about commenting because it's just tedious and they just, they just don't want to do it. But there is a ton of value held in it, especially when it adds up over months and months. Because guess what? Now you've developed silent relationships with different types of people in your area. Your competitors are now noticing that their followers might be dropping because you're on their pages as well. And now you've noticed that you create a relationship with other people in other areas of business, and now you're getting referrals to each other. Okay. It's almost like the very low-key part of networking nobody talks about. Okay. It's like the silent talking. Okay. Doesn't just apply on Instagram, Facebook, applies on every single platform. I don't care. TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, you gotta comment on other people. It is another way to get noticed. Okay. Any question with that or? Okay. As you can see, it's probably a lot of information already. I hope you guys are sinking this in. Anyways, you guys will get the video, so there'll be a lot of different more concepts on there. If you could just give me 30 seconds, I'm just gonna go grab a bottle of water real quick. I'll be right back in like 10 or so seconds.
I'll add to what he was sharing when he spoke about the hashtags and the Facebook group. So I'll tell you, for me as a realtor, NJ Realtor, I've received several calls from individuals saying, "Hey, I found you on social media. I searched NJ Realtor and you came up. You were like in the top 100, and I see that you're in my area." And then in regards to the Facebook groups, I forget what the page is, but it's like over 100,000 members on in that group. And people are always in the group asking for like, anyone knows a realtor, anyone knows a hairdresser, or whatever. And someone asked about a realtor, and I got tagged in that post at least like 5 or 6 times. So I just dropped my business card on there. Now, the individual that posted the content requesting a realtor wasn't the one that reached out to me, but like 6 others did that saw the number of people that commented and mentioned my name. So this post had gotten maybe 100 likes, and of course, like so many realtors were in the comments, but the idea that there were people referring me and recommending me, I appeared to be trustworthy, so it attracted quality leads, and I actually closed on 2 deals because of it. So he's right. I'll say he's definitely right about the Facebook groups. We don't utilize that as much, but that is definitely where one of my, that brings a lot of traffic and attention to your business, as well as the hashtags, which is extremely important. Andrew, you can take over.
Yep, no, exactly right. You guys can see it directly, and she converted that into real deals and more revenue, right? So there's the advantages right there. You've got a real testimony right there in this call. Okay, so let's talk about LinkedIn now. Now, LinkedIn is a really vital platform for only specific industry. It doesn't apply to everyone. If you're a product-based industry, it depends on who your ideal client is. If you're primarily in the B2B space, let's just say you're selling software, for example, being on LinkedIn might be a good idea because you have certain business owners you want to target. If you're a loan officer, for example, great platforms to be on. Why? Because you would love to be in touch with other realtors. You would love to know everyone else involved in a transaction. If you're primarily like selling chocolate or candy or some sort of tangible product for all clients, you don't necessarily have to be on LinkedIn. If you're, for example, selling suits, right, for business owners, that is a platform to be on, right? Because there are business owners here as well. Now, LinkedIn is a terrific platform. I actually love this platform a lot because there's a lot of functionalities that we can do compared to the others. LinkedIn is entirely a numbers game, okay? Just like this whole thing. I will trust someone with 5,000 connections compared to someone with 1,000 connections, okay? We're judging a book by its cover. It's a natural human thing, right? But people will trust more with those higher numbers. Now, within LinkedIn, there's another reason why people would be on it, recruiting, right? Building a team. So this is primarily for those that want to build a team, expand their client base, but also potentially pass each other referrals. Now, the idea of LinkedIn is when you connect with these people, you have the ability to send them a note, a connection note. Now, I think I think it was 2021, people started focusing on being hyper personal, right? You don't want to just be like a copy paste message and send it out to 5,000 people. And then guess what? 1,000 of them are like, stop copying and pasting, right? So then all of a sudden now the LinkedIn messages are like, hey, I saw your achievement on getting this award. Thank you so much. Congratulations. The reason for me reaching out is because then the person that receives the message will think you actually spend time looking at their profile. But now I think people are putting an over focus on that and they're not getting to the point. Now it's like they're becoming way too personalized that they're forgetting why they're even connecting with them. So my personal opinion on LinkedIn is to just go ahead and just tell them why you're connecting. This is a direct platform. You are allowed to be a little bit more salesy and direct with people here because it is all, after all, it's a B2B network. There's no necessary time for drama in this platform. It's just right to the point. Do we have an opportunity? Yes or no? Cool. We don't. Cool. We do. Let's move forward. Okay. Now on LinkedIn, another type of strategy that I want you guys to notice, which is huge, is podcast opportunity, video content here. This is the platform where you can get more videos. Now, the question is how? How does that even make any sense? Well, when you connect with people on LinkedIn and drop a brief introduction of yourself, for example, hey, I'm with X company, for example, and wanted to connect with you to identify an opportunity of collaboration. If they say yes or no, what you can write as a follow-up to them is, hey, would you be open to maybe a 10 or 15-minute podcast about X topic? Now, guess what? If you do this with enough people, you might get enough yeses, and now you might have 6 or 7 virtual or in-person podcast meetings with these people that you can record. And now you have clips for your social media. You have clips for YouTube now because everyone is not on YouTube because of time, right? But now you are holding 2 people accountable for videos, and now you have a bunch of podcast clips. And now 2024, if you're on a podcast, even on one, people think you are the genius because you just look like a professional. So why not we take that trend and apply it in a way where we ask for more podcast opportunities to different people, right? On LinkedIn directly. If I were to do a podcast with any one of you guys, what am I also doing? I'm developing a relationship with you. So there might be a deal that comes out of that as well. There's also a tight relationship that we can nurture even further down the road. Okay. That's a new strategy I personally came up with in January. And I think it's been working really well for people. And also, it's not something that you're asking for business. You're just asking, can we have a conversation? It's just another way of asking that, right? And it's a valuable conversation because you're getting more use of that because you'll get the video, you'll record that video of you guys talking, and now you'll post it everywhere as well. So people can see you as a thought leader, which means people will see you as trustworthy also. Okay.
I want to add to that too.
Yeah.
If you go to my Instagram now, Queenella_Holmes, it's pinned to the top. I was interviewed by an individual that I met on social media. She wanted to talk about just girl talk, just life, right? The challenges as a realtor, me being a woman and a mother of 3 children. We had a conversation. Now, any individual you speak to, they either own a home, they're renting, they're looking to buy, an investor. You just never know who you're speaking to at the time. Once that interview was over, I sold her property. She asked me to sell her property. We weren't talking anything about real estate during that live session. And if you look at the video that's pinned to the top, she's crying because she was saying at the time that we had our interview, we discussed just conversations that the challenges women face daily. It had nothing to do with real estate. And that connection was the reason why she moved forward. And she was going through something at the time, and I met that need. So definitely take advantage of just having these connections with people, because people work with people they know, like, and trust, right? So if you're the person that they have the connection with first, and then they learn what it is that you do, and that you're also knowledgeable and you have a portfolio, that too, not only are you connecting with their audience, but you get the opportunity to connect with your potential client, your prospective
Right.
buyer, seller, and investor.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yep. So there's another testimony right there, right? It could be indirectly powerful even after the interview as well, because the relationship will last, right? The other thing with LinkedIn is, again, just like Facebook, there are LinkedIn groups as well, right? And we don't want to ignore these as well. I think LinkedIn groups are a little bit more broad compared to Facebook groups. But for example, for the mortgage people, right? Most of you guys service a lot of states, not just one state. There's a lot of real estate groups out there. Like I'm in an agent group that has 86,000 people in it. Great place for mortgage officers to be as well, because again, you can start giving yourself an introduction, start talking about the content you're posting as well, and engage with other people, put the attention on them also. But there are LinkedIn groups, and the rule still applies. You don't want to join every single group related to your industry. Pick the groups with a couple hundred members, pick the groups with a couple thousand members, and don't overdo it. You got to make sure you are consistent on all those groups as well. Okay. LinkedIn, I think this platform over time, it hasn't changed much, which I do like. They are keeping their principles pretty aligned, unlike X, for example. X is just all over the place right now, right? We're trying to figure out what that platform is up to. But I think LinkedIn is a very good platform for business owners, especially that want to connect with other owners and get more video content for free. Okay. So that's LinkedIn. Brief introduction on that platform. I want to go to YouTube. besides all the platforms that we're talking about today, this is the most important one out of all of them, simply because it's owned by Google. And if you can break through your presence on YouTube, you will get the search benefits Google has to provide you. Okay. Now, if there's any reason, if there's any of you guys that are not on YouTube right now, I'll give you why you're not, because of time, right? So when should you consider this? When you actually have the time to do it. Now, I understand everyone's life is busy and people are going through things, right? So my primary recommendation, whenever you're doing videos, you have to batch content together. You got to do it all at once, basically. Okay. Try to get a month or two done so you don't have to be involved in it for 30 or 60 days. And you could use those 30 or 60 days to get new ideas for your next time your shoot comes, right? Now, the thing with YouTube is there's a couple other things. It is long form video content. That is the bread and butter. Videos that are 5, 10, 15, 25 minutes long. YouTube Shorts, yes, they came out, should be using that. Listen, if any platform comes out with any new tool, they will promote the hell out of it. But the principle of the platform will never change. And YouTube's principle was always longer videos, okay? There is quote unquote a lesser audience on YouTube. And what I mean by lesser audience, I don't mean consumers or your target audience. I mean your competitors, right? Even for example, in real estate, there are not that many good realtors that are on YouTube. Or for example, if you guys are selling product-based businesses, a lot of products do not have even a YouTube channel. And it's a perfect place where if you want to be involved in your brand, you can showcase and talk about your product, the owner itself doing it on YouTube, for example. And now people can build and develop a connection with you. Okay. YouTube's growth is also defined by what we call SEO. So SEO is an acronym for search engine optimization, and that's basically ranking on your search. Okay. Now, how can you put the right titles or the right descriptions to make sure you're aligned with YouTube's algorithm? You want to use there's a few different ways to do it. You could do it manually by, for example, writing a couple keywords on YouTube search. So for example, I could do like properties in Long Island, for example, properties in New York. And then I have 10 videos that come up and the top three are the highest ranked. So I want to probably mirror the titles and descriptions of those top three. I can take that example in any industry. Okay. Now, if you don't want to do that and you want more number and statistics, you guys can use a tool. It's called vidIQ. That's VIDIQ. And you can use another tool. It's called Tube Buddy. So like TUBE Buddy, BUDDY. Okay. Now those tools basically tell you the keywords and the phrases and the titles that are of high competition, low competition, medium competition. Now, guess what? You're saving time. You know exactly what are the potential titles and descriptions you should be using. The next part of YouTube is what? It's thumbnails. How pretty and attractive are your thumbnails, right? Are they branded consistently? You don't want to pick 5 or 7 different colors on your company page and just throw your audience with a bunch of colors. You want to be uniform. 2 or 3 colors, maybe 4 at the most, and be very uniform on your YouTube page. But guess what? Over time, you can realize that you can probably see with the highest accounts on YouTube, they're not using thumbnails on every page because they got to the point where their audience doesn't care about the thumbnail. They just care about what they have to say. And that's why it's so important that we build the foundation initially, because eventually your audience attention will shift to you only, not necessarily the entire aspect of every single video, like the title, the description, the thumbnail. They just care about you only eventually. But for us to get there, let's go ahead and build that uniform account first. Okay, so proper thumbnails, you guys can use things like Canva or Photoshop to get you started on some great templates. And there's a lot of easy edits you can make within that. So again, you guys can leverage that. Now, the next part to YouTube is, again, of course, there's 2 concepts that apply to every platform: competition and engaging with other people, right? So that applies if you have competitors in the space, check them out every single day. Just log them on Google Sheets so it's all in one place. And now keep an eye on all their competitors so you can get ideas that you can market faster on your page. Engaging and commenting on other videos, 100% important. You'll be surprised that those that go on YouTube, I mean, nowadays, if 40 seconds is too much for people, 15 minutes is like a movie. So if anyone that goes on YouTube, they're literally there to watch a movie, okay? And you'll be surprised that people actually drop comments, plenty of comments on good working videos on YouTube. What does that give you as an incentive? Oh, maybe I should comment as well, because then people can maybe see my page. YouTube has the bell, which is a notification when a video comes out. Remember, marketing is speed. If you get a notification that your competitor put a video, go ahead and be the first one to comment on it, because then if you're the first one to comment, people might notice your comment, of course, because you were the only one there earlier. Okay. But these are some of the primary concepts with YouTube. Again, the most important platform that I'm talking about right now, because it is owned by our friend Google, and Google is the most used search engine in the whole world. Okay, so we don't want to ignore YouTube because we get free SEO benefits. I'll tell you guys right now, SEO is a very complicated marketing process. It is a very high budget process as well, but you can get a ton of SEO benefits, ranking benefits, by just doing everything I just said as well. So you can kind of work your way around SEO for most businesses also. Okay. Okay, this platform, Twitter, we kind of put this on the back burner for the time being, only because once Elon took it over, he's doing a lot of changes with the platform. I'm trying to understand what exactly his route is with Twitter. I refuse to call it X, by the way. I just think it's a bad name for the platform. So we're going to keep it as Twitter. Now, the thing with Twitter is there's a couple of things we noticed for business owners and how the platform works previously, right? So Twitter is a platform where its success is based upon where you live and where your target audience is. If we were all in Kentucky right now, I would probably not even include this in the slide because there's not that many users down there. But if we were in California or New York or New Jersey or Connecticut, there's plenty of users of Twitter using the platform. Now, I like to call Twitter what you call the informal LinkedIn because its goal is for you to connect with people as well. Twitter's intention of building the platform was what? It was not posting, it was actually tweeting and replying to tweets, which means you're connecting with people in the space. Now, within that, you can kind of see that a lot of Twitter accounts have like a very informal side of the brand. So, for example, you guys might have these after office complaints or these client problems that you're dealing with or this stress from work. And guess what? Those are all Twitter content you could talk about, right? It's more of the platform where it's like the ranting platform or the humoristic platform. So it's a perfect place to put memes about your industry, right? Talk about, the vanilla dark side of it as well, right? Talk about some jokes. Of course, don't directly name your clients, right? But you can talk about the struggles that you have in the space. Now, you'll also have to realize this is a platform of leadership. If you go into this platform, you are seen as a leader right away. It's an authoritative platform. So who is this not for? This is maybe not for your newest business owners or your newest agents out there because they're not a leader yet. They don't have the qualities yet. It's just a matter of time, but they'll get it eventually, but they don't have it as of yet. This is for people that are seasoned in their industry for quite a while. They have a network and they're already seen as a leader, and they got that leadership authority. Then I don't mind, going and talking about what you can do on Twitter. But again, I'm kind of waiting to see what he's going to do with this platform further because he took over. He might incorporate AI to it. I myself am waiting a little bit. I'm on Twitter. I post, I tweet 2, 3 times a day about random marketing stuff, things that I hear, things I don't agree with. But besides that, I'm not doing any active engagement on there because I'm just waiting a little bit longer to see what is he really going to do with this platform. Okay. But again, that's just an overview of Twitter and on our previous findings. Okay. TikTok. I have to get rid of the first point, younger generation, because it's really not at this point anymore, right? Yes, you have a lot of younger people using it, but I see people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s using this as well. I'm not saying you guys are old, but basically, you know what I mean. Now, within this platform, you can also notice that your views and your growth is probably a lot faster, right? A lot of the videos that you post might be getting a ton more views, and their algorithm, honestly, is a little bit more friendly compared to Instagram. You can rack up a lot of organic views on this platform, but it's also a great platform for you because if there's younger people in the space using this, you are planting seeds for future growth. So if you're in real estate, right? And if you are basically talking about why real estate is important in your area, why is it good for wealth creation in your area, don't just talk generally. If there's younger people watching those type of content, they're probably not ready to buy a house, but when they are, if they grow up watching you like they just watched a cartoon, for example, right? They might want to work with you because all they saw was you. Or if there's a younger person there and they have a parent, an aunt, or grandparent that might be willing to make a move at some point. Hey, dad, check out this agent that I saw. Hey, dad, check out this business that I saw on TikTok. But guess what? Here's what's tricky about TikTok. Dad will not probably look through TikTok to find more about you or the brand. He's probably going to go on Google, type your name, might check you out on Facebook, right? So it's really important that if you're on TikTok, you are on these other platforms as well, because we call this platform an accountability platform. You have to show your presence here because if you are not here and if you are here but not on the other platforms, your older generation doesn't entirely they don't care because if they can't find you, no problem. I'll just ask my neighbor, who do you buy your house with, right? Or who do you do business with? And boom, you guys lost an opportunity again and nobody tells you. So this is really what we call an accountability platform. Now, yes, it could be banned. I haven't really followed up with the news on that. But if TikTok is banned in the near future, my suggestion is Give your audience the early warning. Hey, if you want more content like this, check out the Instagram page from now on, or check out the Facebook page. At least you can migrate your viewers somewhere. And guess what? You don't lose the maybe 10,000 total views that you got. And guess what? Nobody's on TikTok ever again, right? So just prepare for that early. If it happens, it happens, nothing we can do. If it doesn't, 100% Beyond is a very organic platform to actually get a lot of views faster than other platforms like Instagram or Facebook. Okay. They do give you ideas on trending content ideas, right? They tell you what's trending. If you can apply some of that because you're that type of person or that applies to your industry, don't hesitate. Do it the day of. Speed is extremely important. Do it the day of and get it done and get it posted. So then you can at least be on the trend and get the benefits from being on a trend. Okay. Filters, just like Instagram, also apply on this platform. If you're the type of person that aligns with it, go ahead. If not, not the end of the world either. Okay. Okay, this is not really social related, but it is still an important Google business page. I just want to cover it real quick. The only thing you guys should focus on here is writing reviews. Okay. Call up your clients from a year ago if they're not on here and ask them, would you be kind enough to write me a review? There is a disclaimer though. You need to have a Google account to write a review. Now, what if they don't have a Google account? You don't want to say, oh, no problem. Thank you. You don't want to say that. Okay. You want to give them options. For realtors, Zillow, Realtor.com, Yelp, great places. You don't need a Google account for that. You can make an account directly and just write a review. But if you're other product-based businesses or other areas, Facebook has a review option, or your website should have a review option. And also, there are plenty of other platforms where people talk about these industries, right? Quora is one of them. Quora is like Reddit, for example, or Reddit is, if you guys heard of Reddit, it's basically the same thing as Quora. Great place for you to go and have your clients write something about you as well. You want to diversify your marketing. If I'm Google and I see that my competitor is just on platform X and Y, and I'm on platform A, B, C, D, X, Y, F, and E, Google will probably rank me higher because I'm more spread out on platforms that Google also trusts, right? Compared to that, my competitor was just on two. Okay. You will get free SEO benefits. As I talked about, ranking your search, ranking your search. You will get free benefits from doing this. So you could really avoid the whole, big process of SEO as well. Okay. But that's just a brief introduction of Google Business Page. Heavily important. People love reviews. Yes, will you get bad reviews from people that have nothing else to do in their lives? Of course you will. You're going to get those spammy reviews. Try having Google remove it. If they can't remove it for you, my only advice is just to hustle and get more clients and get more reviews so you can put that review in the bottom. Okay. But that's a brief on Google Business Page and boosting posts, right? Related to social. What are the benefits here? Potential new followers, new engagements, increases of views, right? There are all these benefits, but you should only boost under 3 different scenarios. Scenario number 1, let's just say I have an account, I post 15 times a month and I have 500 followers, okay? Now, one of my videos specifically that month got 3,000 organic views. I might tell you to take your entire boosting spend and put it all in that one video, because if you got 3,000 organic, we could probably get you to 10,000, 12,000 views with just one boosting, okay? Scenario number 2, if you did a post and before you did that post, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited to have people hear what I have to say because it's a great message. And guess what? You posted it and it just did horrible. Okay. Like you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even expect that. Right. But if you believe people should be actually wanting to hear that message, I'd advise, if you trust that, go ahead and boost it. You might hit the right target interest and now they might react positively to that post. Scenario number 3, a little bit more common, is boosting multiple postings at the same time. That's why you should be keeping a sufficient spend so you can divide it among your postings, right? So if you're doing 10 to 12 posts a month, I'd recommend keeping a spend of like $75 to $100 a month. If you're doing between 20 to 25 posts a month, keep a spend of between like 150 to 250 a month. And if you're doing 30 to 40 a month in terms of postings, you should be keeping a spend of around $300 to $400 every single month. So you have the volume and you can also divide it if needed as well. Okay. Boosting applies to Instagram and Facebook only, and it's heavily recommended, especially you can do this before you even run ads, because if we have interest targeting, why not we already start targeting people that are interested in the topics we will be talking about? Because then you get a road of more qualified viewers, as we talked about earlier, because our goal is not qualified leads or anything yet. Our goal is qualified viewers and then converting them over time into potential opportunities. Okay. Real quick, again, related to social media, cross-posting, okay? For those of you guys that have a CRM, and you should only have a CRM if you have way too many contacts to manage, okay? And for those of you guys that are affiliated with companies, I personally recommend you not to necessarily just rely on their CRM technology, because what if you leave the brokerage tomorrow? You are probably not entitled to take all that data. And even if you are entitled to take the data with you, you're going to have to go through a day of headache by just transferring. But if you had it all in one place also, guess what? You leave the brokerage, no big deal. You still have the data with you somewhere else. Now, those of you that have CRMs, you might have an option of cross-posting. You press a button on your CRM and now it posts to Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all at the same time. Run away from that immediately as fast as you can, because if you want to grow on the platform, you have to spend time on the platform. Okay. I'm a volleyball player. The only way I'm going to get better is by being on the court. Okay. I'm not going to get better by necessarily just watching other people play all the time. I have to play myself. So same goal here. If your goal is to grow on the platform, you have to spend time in the platform, commenting, engaging, changing hashtags, boosting, doing the native posts. Don't rely on some third-party technology to do that for you, because guess what? You're not even spending a tenth of a second on that platform. Okay. So please run away from that as fast as you can. You guys, I know you guys have the time to do that. If by any chance that life doesn't allow you any time for 2 months, right, and you want to cross post, guess what? It's better than nothing. But just know you have to change that right away, because if you want to grow, you got to be in the platform. Okay. Again, I'm not going to get into all these in depth because we're primarily talking about social media branding today, right? But we don't want to ignore the other avenues here: websites, landing pages, email marketing, right? Retaining the loyalty of your previous customers, especially with those of you guys with products. You should be using your old client list and getting more business out of them. If you want immediate business opportunity, go back to your previous clients. It's the easiest to sell to them again. Again, blog writing, right? Quora is really important. If you guys are writing blogs, it's important that you're not just writing it on your website. Put that blog on all other blog platforms, because again, if I'm Google and I see you on multiple blog platforms that I trust, again, I'm going to rank you higher naturally. Okay. Your competitors probably don't know this either. A lot of people don't know this. So again, easy. Write the blog, copy paste it, take it and post it everywhere else, all other blog platforms as well. And now you're building your ranking up for free, and you're getting the right benefits of Google as well. Okay. I don't want you guys to ignore this. In the ebook, I will put out a diagram, a visual diagram that shows that the reason why someone is just on one platform, the only benefit they can get from just being on so little, compared to someone else being on every channel. It's like a spider web. If you're on every platform, your audience is connected in all different places, and you are just more confident. If a lead comes to you, oh great, they will not forget about me because I'm everywhere, right? But if you're just on Instagram, you might not have much confidence. You're like, oh, okay, I'm just on Instagram, but my competitors are everywhere else. So it might give you a little shakiness. It might motivate you to be on other platforms as well. Okay. But those are some of the main introductions. AI, of course, we don't want to ignore this. Artificial intelligence, it is the next age of disruption today. We don't want to ignore the AI tools that are out there. There's over 5,000 at this point, but I picked a few for you guys just to note down. Of course, most of you might have heard about the first one. Video.ai is for long form video content. So for example, if you're doing videos that are 5, 10, 15 plus minutes long and you want short form clips out of those, you can put that thing into video.ai, and now it will generate you some suggestions of what clips could work best. But guess what? These things are new. These things are in testing. It's really important that we check it over to make sure the information is accurate. But it does save you some time on the editing part of it. Crisp is for audio. It's outside and it's windy and people have a hard time hearing you. Put it in crisp. It should amplify your audio so people can hear you more clearly. But you don't need crisp if you have the next platform, which is called captions. Okay. Those trendy words and those animations we see on videos, that's all AI. And within that, you have a built-in audio amplifier anyways. Okay, so you can leverage that as well, and you can get better audio. ChatGPT, I primarily use, I don't rely on it. I use it to give me ideas. So for example, if you guys are writing a blog, okay, don't use AI to write your blog. Use AI to give you the idea to write you the best blog. Okay. Take those ideas and natively write it yourself. Because again, these algorithms on Google got really smart. They know what AI written content is and they won't promote AI written content. Not a problem for us. We're gonna ask AI, what do you suggest are some great topics to write about this blog? They're gonna give you topics. Now, natively go ahead and type it or write it with hand your blog, and then now you can put that blog onto Google, because that's your own spin, but it's even better because AI has given you the best ideas and suggestions for that topic. So I use AI to give me better ideas. Okay. Will AI disrupt marketing? No, it's only going to complement it and make it even better because now we have some technology suggesting us ideas rather than taking over and ruining the algorithms as a whole. Okay. Don't ignore AI, guys. It's really important. I don't like this is I can't stress the importance of artificial intelligence. This is really here to take over a lot of things. If this is so good in 2024, just imagine in 10 years what it could be like. There's already AI cold calling people, and they don't even realize it's AI. Like that's pretty scary if you were to ask me that type of technology. So just imagine in 10 years where this could go. So your only thing, one of your big things in marketing, you should learn this, all the tools that come with AI because heavily leveraged and doing it the right way is going to save you, a lot of time, but it's also going to give you a better edge over your competitors because guess what? They're probably lazy and they're not going to look at any of this anyway. So I'm giving you the head start right here as well. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much like the introduction of this overall. I know there's a lot I spoke about. I'll be honest, that's 1% of the entire thing. But there's a lot of information. But does anyone have any questions? I got plenty of time, so feel free to just shoot me some questions. I'll be happy to answer them.
I have a question, Andrew. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. With so many platforms, social media platforms out there, what do you recommend for any kind of application that uses just one post, one video, and it will spread out to all social media?
So that's exactly the thing we should avoid. Okay. The only reason is because, again, if we want to grow on platforms individually, we should be natively on it. So listen, it's going to take time. This whole thing is a work on its own. If you go look at my own account, I'm not even the one posting on mine. I don't even have the time for it. Right. So I primarily recommend budgeting good amount of time to get bulk content and then spending 5 or 10 minutes a day posting it natively. That is the best way to handle this. Don't trust yourself to do content weekly because it won't happen. Your life is unpredictable. You're going to have a lot of stuff going on anyways, right? So my suggestion is take a weekend, right? The start of every single month, record all the needed content, design all the needed content you need, and now take every single day, take 10 minutes or 20 minutes posting, maybe take another 10, 20 minutes commenting and engaging with other people as well. That is the best way. If you do some third-party technology, you are just not going to grow as you would like. And that's a whole problem, right? Because why are we doing this? For more revenue. And we want to do it properly rather than in a very, like lazy or fast way either. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
I'll add to that, Eric. One thing with Instagram and Facebook, Instagram and Facebook will only show you or show you to viewers or viewers to you that you engage with most. So a lot of people that follow me would say, Queen, I don't ever see your posts because of the algorithm. But the moment they visit my page, then all of a sudden I'm in their timeline. I'm in their newsfeed, right? So that's why it's important to interact and engage, because if not, sometimes I take time and I go to my followers and I go to their pages directly, leave a comment, send a DM or whatever. So that way, when I have an announcement that's coming out and I'm going to make they'll see me. Because if not, Instagram and Facebook would look at it like, oh, Queen Ella doesn't have a relationship with Eric. Although they follow each other, they don't interact with each other at all. So I'm not going to put Queen Ella in front of Eric or Eric in front of Queen Ella because clearly they're not really interested in seeing each other's posts. But Queen Ella and Samantha, they engage a lot. So I'll make sure that's all they see. Whenever Queen Ella or Samantha post, the two of them will see each other.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So it's just a time thing, just budgeting more time. I know it's hard to hear, but if you put time in it, it will give you the benefits it will need. Yep.
Any other questions? I agree. I normally engage with followers, liking their content before posting. Yes, absolutely. Well, with that being said, it doesn't seem like we have any questions at all. I hope this was very useful information for you all, and I hope that you'll see a difference in your business and the way your relationship with social media, I think, will improve after this conversation that we had today. I thank you all for attending. We hope to see you next week. For those that are interested in financial literacy and fair housing and real estate, we will be hosting a seminar next Thursday at 6 p.m. Make sure you register. And this video will be available this evening on YouTube. I'll make sure you all have the link, as well as Mr. Andrews' information as well, in case you need more assistance with getting yourself set up with social media marketing and branding. You guys have a wonderful Thursday, even in this rain. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Yep, I just wanted to add something real quick. Give everyone that teaser real quick. For those of you guys that we're creating an online university on marketing, like a digital platform where if you join our community, you'll actually learn because everything I know it might sound like a lot of information, but I'll be honest, that's really just 1%. There's so much more to talk about. And for those of you guys that are probably doing your own marketing, if you want the best insights or if you're a beginner in this space and you want to learn from me directly, you guys can, if you guys want to be on a wait list to our online community where we teach you not just this, but it's all different aspects. Like we talk about email marketing, best email campaigns from other companies. We talk about best SMS text messages to send out. We talk about branding guidelines. I talk about all this much more in depth as well. If you guys want to be on the wait list for that, just shoot me a message through my, DM me, text me, or email me. I'll make sure to put you on the wait list for that. We have limited seating and it's exclusive. And this community is $30 a month. So it's the price of dinner we're offering it. But if you join this, I'm telling you, for any of you guys that are considering to take a marketing degree, you don't need it. I don't even have a marketing degree myself. You can learn all this from a resource that, that's definitely trustable. But if you guys want to be on the wait list, just let me know because we have very limited seating for it as well. So I just wanted to let you guys know that as well.
All right. Thank you for, hosting this event, and thank you for that information.
Yes.
Everyone have a lovely day, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you guys. Take care. Thank you. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.